Let us understand stateful and stateless using some analogy first. If you are using online banking, then the bank server must remember a few details like your password so that it can confirm it is genuinely you. So, this is stateful protocol. But in stateless, the server does not save the details. Now, let's understand seeing the difference. Stateful protocol. They require the server for storing the state of a specific process, whereas in stateless, they do not need the server for storing the state of a process. In stateful, the protocols expect a response. If not answered, the request is sent again. In stateless, these protocols do not need a response. In stateful, data needs to be stored. In stateless, data is not stored. In stateful, there is a very complex design, whereas stateless is a very simple design. Server is required for storing data. No server is required. Transactional handling is really slow. Transactional handling is really faster, harder to implement, easier to implement. In the case of stateful, the requests are always dependent on the server side. In the case of stateless, the requests are self contained and not dependent on the server side. Scaling is very complicated or complex in the case of stateful, whereas scaling is much easier. It is difficult to code because data storage is involved in stateful, whereas in stateless, it is much easier to code. Examples of stateful are HTTP, UDP, DNX, etc. Whereas examples of stateless are FTP, Telnet, etc.